You're listening to Give Yourself Some Leeway with me, your host, Eugene Lee. I spent the last 4 years trying to discover how to break the burnout cycle. And as a high achiever in a fast-paced world, it's very easy to slip back into old habits that leave you feeling overwhelmed and left behind. If you're anything like me, then you need to hear this. It's not your fault. Each episode is dedicated to help break the stigma around mental health in the workplace, end burnout culture for good, and the action steps that you can take today to do your part towards your personal growth and success. I am so happy that you're here today, and thank you again for joining us. I know it's a busy time of the year. We're coming up to festive season, and you're probably being bombarded with all these different ads and all these commercial things happening and all these social events. And as I've mentioned before about, taking a step back and making sure that you stay grounded and don't get overwhelmed by everything happening around you, I think one of the narratives we have in the back of our mind, especially at this time of year, is always around, what haven't I achieved in 2023? Oh my God, we're in December. The year flew. I didn't realize my goals. I didn't realize my potential this year. Or maybe you set your New Year's resolution, you forgot about it 2 weeks into January, and now you're looking at the last 4 weeks of the year thinking, oh, that never happened. I'm a failure. I completely forgot about it until now. And if you go back to my older episodes, I went on so many rants about New Year's resolutions and why I hate them. How they're not effective, and you're much better taking some time to yourself to really reflect on what are the changes you can make now, small changes you can make every day, not these big goals that people set as New Year's resolutions with absolutely no way of measuring them. So either you set a SMART goal or you implement Kaizen every day. And, small measurable goals, 1% every day, 1% improvement. And it got me thinking again that in my earlier episodes, I always talked about all these Japanese principles and methodologies that are often used in quality management and in continuous improvement in the workplace, but not often reapplied in our own personal lifestyles. And how about we take those quality management principles and apply them to the quality of our lifestyle? And one of those principles that I'm seeing more often in terms of people realizing their life purpose and living more in tune with themselves authentically is the concept of Ikigai. Ikigai, especially, is one way of becoming more in tune with yourself to make yourself more resilient to burnout. Because Ikigai is all about finding out your life purpose. And often when it comes to burnout or bore out, these are phenomena that occur when our life values, our personal values, or expectations of ourselves, and the expectations that we feel others have of ourselves, our self-worth, our professional obligations, when all of these get out of hand, or maybe we're not clear on them and we're running in all directions, expending our energy without any true purpose. That's what leads us on that downward spiral, because we don't have that clarity. We are not able to set those boundaries to keep ourselves in check. And that's where Ikigai comes into play. So the concept of Ikigai is a combination of two Japanese words. Iki, meaning life, and gai, meaning worth or value. So essentially it means life worth or life value. And it's often, used in people synonymize it with a reason for being or a reason to wake up in the morning. That's your Ikigai. And when you're burnt out, that's exactly the opposite of Ikigai. It's you wake up in the morning and you just don't want to get out of bed because you just don't have that sense of purpose, or you're just going through the motions, you're on autopilot and you just don't have the energy for anything else or to even think straight. You're just going through the motions until you get to the point where, like, why am I even doing this? There's no sense of purpose. Everything you're doing just feels like it's not congruent with your passion or with your values. And oftentimes you just feel stuck because you don't know how to get out of that downward spiral. So, the four elements of Ikigai to help you get out of that cycle, to break that burnout cycle, are the intersection of four elements. So, the first one is your passion. What is it that you love? What are the activities in your life that genuinely excite you, that you really enjoy and you get really enthusiastic? What gives you that spark? When someone brings up a certain topic and you just come to life, that you're like, oh, this topic I can talk about for hours. For me, oftentimes it's food. I you get me on a rant about food, I can go for hours. The next is your vocation. What are you good at? Ever since you were a child, or maybe when you were in school, what was something that you excelled in? What is something that comes almost naturally to you? And often this is something that you probably overlook because you're like, oh, that's so easy. But to someone else, it might seem almost impossible. Maybe you're really good at doing addition and subtraction in your head. You're very good at quick maths. Or maybe you're really good at wrapping presents very neatly, or tying a bow, or tying your shoelaces. And some of these small things that often you take for granted that other people can't do, or just can't do as well or as competently as you. Think of what are you good at, these skills, talents, or different areas where you excel. Next, what does the world need? What is your mission? What does the community around you require? Where you know yourself, you can make a positive impact. Is it helping out in the community as a sports coach? Can you share your experience with younger team members? Can you help train maybe your niece or your nephew how to tie their shoelaces? Think of something like that. And the fourth element is, what can you be paid for? What is your profession? What's a practical and sustainable way for you to support yourself financially through your work? So we'll go back over those again. What is your passion? Something that you love, something that gives you a spark. What is your vocation? What is a certain skill that you excel at, that you are really competent at, that you can almost do with your eyes closed? What is your mission? What is something that the world needs that you can make a positive impact on your community with? And what is your profession? What is a way that you can be paid for what you do? A practical and sustainable way to support yourself financially through your work. And the sweet spot of these four elements where they intersect is often considered as your Ikigai. It's the convergence of your personal fulfillment, professional satisfaction, your societal contribution, and your state of financial stability. By discovering and living in alignment with your Ikigai, it's believed to lead to a more meaningful and purposeful life. Now, that doesn't mean that your career has to bring together all four elements of your Ikigai, that you have to find the perfect job that brings personal fulfillment, professional satisfaction, societal contribution, and financial stability all within the job description. No, you might find that your personal fulfillment comes from how you spend time with your family. Your professional satisfaction comes from the work that you do on a day to day basis. And at the end of the day, maybe you get job satisfaction out of the clients that you help. When you finish a project, you get a personal satisfaction out of taking ownership and responsibility, how you showed up for your team. Maybe your societal contribution is how you help out with the local sports team, or how you show up for your family and help host events with your family. And financial stability, yes, you have your work, maybe you have multiple streams of income so that you can work less hours and spend more time on your personal fulfillment with your family, or spend more time volunteering in the community to give your contribution. It's finding the different factors that come into play, the different elements in your life that lead to your ikigai. If your ikigai is to help others, then you can bring your ikigai to life by seeing how it's congruent with how you show up for your personal fulfillment in your family, in your professional satisfaction, helping out team members and helping out clients, societal contribution, volunteering in your local community, and financial stability by having the enough income coming from different sources that you don't feel like you're relying on one source so that you can help others by feeling abundant in yourself. And that's just one specific example of your ikigai. It might be something as vague as helping others. Maybe it's more specific. Maybe you have a passion for teaching. And what you love to do is go out and teach and inspire others. That's where your personal fulfillment is, in teaching others. And what you're naturally good at is you're a good communicator. You know how to get a message across in a way that people understand and influence them in a certain way and create engaging learning experiences. And what that world needs is quality education and mentorship to learn your expertise. And what can you be paid for? Well, you can be paid as an educator, as a teacher, as a coach, or maybe as a private tutor to learn a specific technical skill. And there's so many examples of ikigai. Your ikigai could be anything from being a teacher to being a parent to being a coach to being an artist. How do you discover what your ikigai is? For some people it can take a lot. It takes a lot of self-reflection to figure out what exactly your ikigai is, what brings you personal fulfillment, what brings you professional fulfillment, what brings you that sense of satisfaction that you know that you're helping others on a day-to-day basis to become better, to improve, to actually find value in the skills that you can provide. And you can do so in a way that you can still be financially stable and feel like that you can keep on giving without feeling like you're a burden on anyone else. I think that's how people realize themselves. How can they be contribute to others around them and be of value to others without burning themselves out? Because if you have that sense of purpose in everything you do, you will be more likely to take care of yourself. Because if you take a step back and be like, okay, teaching is my passion. Teaching, my purpose is to teach others in the ways of um, gardening. And you want to make sure that, okay, I want to make sure that they take care of their garden the best so that they have beautiful flowers and can grow veg that they can, have a healthier lifestyle, having organic vegetables that they grow in their own garden. And you want to teach them the right way so that they can share their experience with their families. Now, I'm not trying to bombard you with all of these different, the four intersecting elements of Ikigai just before the Christmas and festive seasons that, you've probably got a lot on your mind. But if you feel that, you're getting overwhelmed thinking about 2024 and what's your purpose going to be going into the new year, or you just feel like you don't have a sense of direction, discovering your Ikigai might help to point you in that direction. So here are four things to consider if you have a moment, to self-reflect over the next coming weeks, and before you even try to consider a ridiculous New Year's resolution of I want to eat better in 2024. Oh, I want to lose weight in 2024. these non-specific goals, and you'll probably give up about 2 weeks into January and only think about it in December 2024. No, I want you to take a moment of self-reflection, becoming aware of yourself, treating yourself with kindness and compassion, changing that negative self-narrative where you feel that you've been a failure in 2023. It's like, no, you are looking to grow in 2023 and grow in 2024. If you're here with me now listening, you have grown a lot in 2023. You've become more aware of yourself, and you're taking that awareness into 2024 to grow and become a better person, become a better you. So take a moment to become more self aware. Reflect on your passions. Think about the activities and experiences that bring you joy. And what better way to do that than by spending time with others and with family over this Christmas period? Or maybe if you have more quiet time to yourself, that, during the holidays, think of what brings me joy and satisfaction and fulfillment. What are the activities I do outside of work that bring me personal fulfillment? And just jot them down, whether they're, maybe it is work related. Maybe there is personal fulfillment in the work that you do. Maybe it's in your hobbies or different personal interests. It might be something as simple as going for a walk in nature brings you fulfillment, because that's a great way to start your day, because it just helps you get more in tune with yourself, more in tune with your body. Then identify your strengths. Just take stock of your skills and your strengths. What have you accomplished in your life so far that you excel at? Whenever someone brings it up as a topic, you're like, oh, that comes almost naturally to me. And it may not come naturally to someone else, but specific aspects of your life make you feel engaged when when someone mentions them. Maybe it's hiking. Maybe you have a natural sense of direction. Or maybe it's health and fitness. Maybe it's artwork. Maybe you just have a really steady hand when it comes to drawing a horizon or drawing a landscape. Next, consider what the world needs. Think about societal or global issues that you are passionate about. Maybe you could do a bit of research on what's currently going on in the media, or different causes or different charities that you care about. What what makes you feel accomplished in that? What positive impact could I make to society, be it a charity, a cause, a global event, or a local community? It could be something as simple as a local coffee morning where you can help spread awareness, or start a conversation with someone who's a bit more vulnerable or isolated, and be a companion, be a friend. And then evaluate your current work and lifestyle. Can you make time for these things? Does your daily work align with how you can fulfill your passions and work to your strengths? Does your daily lifestyle help you to grow? Or is your lifestyle holding you back in some way? Do you feel the pressure and the overwhelm of work doesn't leave you the time to think about your personal growth, or how you can be a better person tomorrow? Maybe you're not taking the time to reflect on what your weaknesses are, and you feel like you don't have the time to work on them. You don't have the time to get better on the things that you feel are holding you back. So there's one thing that I want you to do when it comes to your Ikigai. Take some time to reflect on it. Do not start a New Year's resolution on December 31st, 1st of January. I do not want to hear New Year's resolutions, new year, new me, losing weight 2024, something very vague that you'll probably just forget about in the next 2 or 3 weeks. No, I want you to take that time. Maybe it takes the whole month of January, when you have some quiet downtime, to just reflect on the four elements of Ikigai and just connect the dots between them. Where do they intersect? Where do you feel your life purpose is? And if you feel stuck or want a bit more direction on it, just reach out to me. Send me a DM. Send me a DM that says Ikigai or New Year's, and we can start from there. We can try to work out what your Ikigai is, what's your life purpose, so that you can get started in the right direction in 2024. Well, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you want to dive deeper, you can always reach out at giveyourselfsomeleeway.com. You can reach out on social media there, or you can email me at eugene@leeway.ie. Thank you for listening, and until next time, take care.